everybody, welcome back. It's Tracy with JDL Threads. I hope everybody had a great weekend. And I got something good for you guys today. Stay tuned and check it out. I want to say to any of my first time viewers, hello everybody, welcome to the channel. And any returning viewers and subscribers, hey, welcome back everybody. What am I going to do for you today? I am going to be embroidering this purple hat because maybe you guys don't know, purple is my very favorite color. And also, aside from embroidering and crafting and all the other things that I like to do, music is my next love. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be going ahead and embroidering me a nice music hat, and I want you guys to come along and check it out. Join me for the ride. That's what I'm doing when I'm not making videos. I'm working on embroidery, listening to my music. That's me all day. Anyone who knows me knows that I always got some type of headphones in my ears or just music blasting. That's me. So starting off, what we're going to do today is we're going to be using our RICOMA MT1501 with our hat cap frame. And this is the part that we hooked the cap frame onto. I already have mine on there, so let me take it off so I can show you guys what it looks like. This is the I don't know, the stable part that this cap frame goes onto. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find our center with our little point right here, and we're gonna go ahead and make that line up right here to the top, and we're gonna go ahead and click that in. What I like to do is I like to take me a long piece of tearaway stabilizer. It's about 12 inches long. I don't know, maybe, let's see, about, let me get my trusty tape measure here. It's about 4 inches wide, 12 inches long. Now, I did watch a video from RICOMA's videos to do the caps, and you guys, I don't do caps as much as I do regular embroidery, so it does make me a little bit nervous from time to time when I first put it on there. But I did a test run, and I think it should be okay. So first off, what we are going to do is we're going to take our stabilizer and we're going to put it in under our little, I don't know what we call it, our little frame here. And because I'm going to embroider from side to side all the way around the cap, that's why I made it cut the stabilizer 12 inches so that can go all the way around the cap. We're going to open up our cap, unsnap the snap back, and we're going to pull out the headband. We're going to slide our cap right underneath our top piece where our little tearaway stabilizer is. And let me just go back and let me just come back in a little bit closer so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Give me one sec. All right, everybody, and like stated before, we're going to take the top center part of our cap and we're going to line it up on the top part of our cap hoop like I showed you. We're going to pull our sweatband out and we're going to line that up under the little piece here on top of our tearaway stabilizer. We're going to pull the cap out around the two little bars down here. And you don't really have to push it all the way up, just enough for it to be snug underneath that fitting. I like to take mine and tilt it to the left just a little bit of the line, because once we take this here part and put it around, it's going to pull the cap a little bit to the right. So, and then that should line it up with that little center line on the top of the cap hoop. So let me go ahead and pull that down. We want to make sure that this part that we bring around is all the way to the bottom of our bill on our cap. And we're going to click it in. I'm going to just check the center. And that's off to the left just a little bit. I mean to the right. So I'm going to do it one more time, you guys. I'm going to turn it a little bit more to the left. Hold my cap. Click it down, and there we go. Right in the middle. That's right in the center of the cap now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit these 3 little tabs on the side. And that'll release our cap. And so you can see that our stabilizer is nice inside of our cap all the way around to where I'm going to be embroidering, you guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head on over to the embroidery machine. I'm going to head on over to the embroidery machine and get this set up, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, everybody, now we are over at the embroidery machine, the MT1501, and it looks like I just have a thread out here from a color that I changed out, so I'm just going to move that out of the way because I'm not going to be using that color, and I don't feel like re-threading it right now, so we're just going to push that one to the side. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our cap and we are going to put it into the embroidery machine, lining the top of the cap up with the top of the cap frame that's on the embroidery machine that we've already changed out the regular arms for flat embroidery until the cap embroidery, and that way it allows the cap to rotate from side to side to get all the sides of the cap that we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it to the side a little bit. And you guys just got to give me a minute because this never really wants to work for me all that great. We're going to push it in, making sure that those 3 tabs click. Now, this is most important on this one because, like I said, on the table frame, when we first put it in, it wasn't so important that we got the tabs to click over there. But on here, it's very important. You want to make sure that all 3 tabs are clicked in. Otherwise, your cap might slide out and hit the front of your needles or the back part of the embroidery hoop of the embroidery machine, and you don't want that. Okay, we're going to put our embroidery machine on needle 1. And you guys, I'm just going to cut this because I don't need this pink. Okay, so I've already got my design loaded in. I hope you guys can see that good enough. We're set up right here on the middle of the center line of the cap. And just in case if we weren't set up on it, we could use the arrows on our panel, the top part of our panel, where we put in all our information for our embroidery design and our colors to move it either to the left, you see it turning, or to the right, so we can get it centered right in the middle of our cap. And we're going to just take our needle and make sure we are dead center in the middle of that cap, and we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to check our tabs one more time, the tabs here, to make sure that they are not moving. There's 2 on the top, one on this side, one on the right side and the left side, and one on the bottom. Make sure that they're all clicked in. If they're not clicked in, when you go to touch it, it would move up and down like this. But you see this is clicked in, so we know that that is in there secure. What I also learned from the RICOMA Hub video, since we're embroidering on the side of a cap with mesh, is that we are going to also take some water-soluble stabilizer, and we're going to put it on the sides of the mesh part of the cap so that we get a better embroidery on top of the mesh and our stitches won't fall into the mesh and lose the design and get registration issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these little clips here, and I'm going to pin one side of the cap on the little pegs on the bottom so we can get that cap as flat as possible on the right, and one on the left. The little tabs here, you see this guy? We're going to put our cap around there, and we're going to stick our clips right on there. Some people don't like to use the clips. I like to use the clips, but it's just personal preference, you guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do our trace to make sure that our design is going to trace in the spots where we wanted to trace on our cap. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my trace, which is going to load my embroidery design into my machine, and you'll see it do its trace. I just get so nervous with these clips, you guys. So I think I'm going to just move them back just a little bit. Or maybe I'll move it up. Yeah, maybe I'll move it up because it doesn't embroider all the way down on that part of the cap. So I'll move them down just a little bit. Okay, and our design here is in the center of our cap, and we're going to go ahead and hit start on our embroidery machine. And so what I'm going to be embroidering out for you guys today is we're going to design a old school boombox, a old school CD boombox, and an iPod, guys, because I had all of those, and I still got my iPod to this day, you guys. I just love music. And it's going to start my design embroidery on the side of the cap because that's just the way that I put it in. When I first put in my design, I put in the boombox on the center, but then I decided that I wanted it to be on the side of the cap. So when I pushed it over to the side, that's where it's going to start that embroidery, since that was the first design that I put in the cap. I could have went back into the digitizing program and made it so that it first started out to embroider on the center of the cap, but I did do a test design and everything looked pretty good. So we're just going to roll with that. Now, once it turns the cap over to the side, I'm going to push the stop button on my embroidery machine, and I'm going to put my aqua topping up there so that it can embroider on top of the aqua topping. So give me 1 second, you guys. And we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I did push the stop button. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this little string off here. And everybody has their own way that they like to do the caps, you guys. I'm just going to see if I can get this a little bit more flat here. It's like I say, I don't do caps all the time, but you got to practice those caps too, you guys. Because as you guys know, I love my caps. I love all type of caps, winter caps, baseball caps, cap caps, you name it, I love it. All right, that looks better for me. So I'm just going to take my aqua topping, and the stitch is going to start here on this needle number 15. So I'm just going to go ahead and maybe just pin that in right there. Just sticking the pins right down into the cap, just so that the aqua topping doesn't move, you guys. And it is out of the way of the needles, so it won't hit those needles. All right, and I'm just gonna reach back here and hold this little guy back here, and I'm gonna hit the start button. Just always remember, whatever needle that you're on, everybody has a different method. Maybe some people are not gonna do it like this, but this is the way that I do it. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So I'm just gonna hold down my aqua topping with my tweezers in the bag, because I know that I'm on needle 15, so I don't have to worry about any of these needles over here injuring my hands. Some people will say, yeah, that's not a good idea, and it's probably not, but that's just the way that I do it. And I'm gonna go ahead, hit start button, and let it tag down the first couple of stitches onto this aqua topping, and then I'm gonna take my hand out, you guys. So here we go. Now, since we have our water-soluble stabilizer tag down, I'm just going to go ahead over here, reach around and take this pin out, guys, because I don't need that one anymore. right, guys, now it's going to rotate all the way around to the other side of the cap to do this side of the cap next. So I'm going to stop it again so that I can put down my aqua topping on this side of the cap, and then we're going to continue on with the design, okay? All right, once again, I'm going to get my tweezers. And I'm going to hold the topping down until it gets a good stitch on top of that topping, where then I can let it go. So now that's tacked down pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just take my pin out, you guys. You guys, I'm going to stop it because what I'm noticing is when I did my design, I made the boombox purple and my hat is also purple. So I don't really want everything to be purple and purple. So I'm going to switch colors up right about now, and I'm going to just go ahead and make my boombox peach. That way the design stands out a little bit better. So give me just a second. Let me switch my colors here. And you're going to see it move around from purple now to peach. And we're going to go ahead and hit start. And I'm just going to tack these little guys down there. Keep it out of the way. we got a thread break, you guys. So let me go ahead and get that fixed back in, and I'll be back on the video, you guys. You see it popped out. You see it popped out of this socket right here. So we want to make sure that once we thread it back up, it goes back over onto this side. Otherwise, it's going to continue to have a thread break, you guys. So give me just a second and let me get that fixed. All right, everybody. I did get the thread break corrected. So now I'm going to do just a little few back stitches. And then we're going to hit our start button and start the embroidery design again, so we won't have any gaps. Remember I explained to you guys in another video that I had turned my thread just a little bit tight because I didn't want all those long tails. So I turned it too much, and so that's why the embroidery machine kept stopping. So I had to turn it back counterclockwise just a little bit to loosen it up, and then that took care of the problem, you guys. Like how this is lifting up, so I'm just going to stick a little pin right in there, you guys. Looks to be okay, so I'm just going to get on out of the way. If I do see it lifting up again, then I'm just going to go ahead and use my tweezers to hold that aqua topping down. But it looks like it's going to be fine. Okay, you guys, I think that I'm out of bobbin thread. I thought that I had enough, so give me a second. Let me go ahead and switch that out, and I'll be right back with you. The one thing that I hate is when I don't have enough bobbin in here when I'm doing these hats. Shame on me, because then it's kind of harder for me to try to snap it back in opposed as to just sliding in the flat frame. But it's okay. We're going to work it out. So just give me a second, you guys. Just going to hit all 3 tabs, turn it a little bit to the left, and slide it out. And yes, we are all out of bobbin threads. So let me go ahead and just load a new one in there. When you put it in, make sure you hear that click. Pop it up. And give me just a second, you guys, to try to get this thing back in here right. Turn it to the left. You can turn it to the left or to the right, but it should find the little click part right here where you see this little piece of tape. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the top of the frame, the center, where we're going to center in our frame right here. It's just going to slide back in there. And we're going to click those 3 tabs and click it back in. That one at the bottom was not clicked, so now I'm going to just double check to make sure they're all not moving. And while I'm in here, you guys, I still haven't mastered to get all of my thread tension correct, but that's okay. I'm still working on it. So we got our bobbin changed. We're going to go ahead and back stitch a few stitches and keep on stitching. Okay, guys, and with that, the embroidery design is done. So once again, let me go ahead and clean up a little bit of these few little stragglers that I got, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Be back in a jiffy. All right, you guys, check it out. Our old school iPod, dance like no one's watching. Our old school pink boombox. And our old school CD boombox, you guys. I'm going to put this on and get it modeled for you. Isn't it so pretty? I love it. I love it. Just some of the things that you can do with your embroidery machine. If you have an idea and a passion, you guys, just make it happen. So once again, this is Tracy with JDL Threads. And let me show you guys what this hat looks like on. Give me 1 second, please.